Hi guys, in the previous video, right, where I talked about all the appliances, my reviews, whether they are good buy, they are bad buy, don't buy, and kind of thing, right? But you realize that I didn't actually talk about one appliance, right? That is the stoves, right? The stoves that I have, right? Why do I have induction? Why do I have the gas stoves? Why do I have a combination of both, right? So I thought it warrants a separate video, and coincidentally, right, the comments that I received also asked for a video on the stove. So why not, let's make a video today. Okay, let's start with the stove here, right? So this is in my wet kitchen, right? So that's the door to the living room, right? So I have my induction over here, and then I have my gas over here, right? So as you can see, very clean look. Yeah, so this is usually how we maintain cleanliness at home lah. So we don't really put a lot of things here. Everything is hidden inside the cupboards, inside all these drawers, right? So we try to keep this place easy to clean, oil free, things are easily maintained lah. Right, so this is how it's being set up. So usually for cleaning wise, the pros and cons, I think for induction, very simple, just a wipe, done, right? For stove, then you have to actually remove all these the grills and all these things to actually clean, right? So not so easy, but then they got pros and cons. So for cleaning wise, definitely it's much more easier to clean. Right, one thing to take note about all this induction and all these stove, right, is that the oil stains can actually go under the stove itself, right? So this is a glass panel, it actually sit on the countertop, right? So this is Decton, right? You actually sits over here. Right, let me show you. Can I lift it up? You will see some stains. Can you see the stains? Yeah. So you have to actually lift up and clean once in a while. Yeah. Same goes for this one. You have to actually lift it up, and then you have to wipe the place below, right? So I show you again, there's also stains there. See the yellow stains, right? So you have to actually lift up to actually clean them. Yeah, one thing to take note is that all these are ceramic panels, right? So they are actually very heat resistant. They are very hard, but it tends to be brittle, right? In a way that it might break if there's a very hard knot, right? Not like this, but then it's a very hard knot on the right area to actually break, right? So SMEG actually use this called Saran. I think it's a kind of ceramic that is heat resistant and all these things, right? The problem is it is so hard that it can actually become too brittle, right? So I actually broke a piece over here, right? So I actually tape it up and things like that. So you have to take note of all these panels, right? This one I broke it before. I have asked SMEG to actually replace this one for free, right? So this is the pros and cons lah. If you're going to use all these built-in or this kind of like stove itself. Yeah. So stove wise, right? So how about the so-called the pros on the induction cooker, right? So one thing that I like is that it actually heats up the whole place, the stove easily. So if I put it over here, if I turn on, right, and if I select this one, 9, it is the highest powered function, right? So you can actually boil a pot of water within 2 minutes, right? The good thing is that when you boil the water, right, you don't feel the heat from the stove itself, right? Because it's right inside in the induction area, right? So you don't feel the heat, right? If you have an open flame you're using this one, right, then you have the flame, right, you can actually feel the heat. Yeah. So my parents actually like to use this one than this one to actually do stir frying do cooking of those stews and all these things is a lot more helpful right? The thing about this one is that it is best to use it for soup or anything that requires long boiling time, long cooking time, right? Why? Because it is actually very much more power consuming if you use electricity to boil a soup. Imagine you have to turn on the stove for 3-4 hours. I don't think it is that economical in terms of like your utilities bills and things like that. So it might be better if you use a stove to actually do like long cooking, you know, things that you know you want to stew, soup kind of thing. If not, I also use Ninja. I use a Ninja multi cooker, right? Show you my Ninja. It's right over here. So everything is hidden in the cupboard, lah, right? So this is my Ninja. Alright, so the Ninja actually we can use to make soup and things like that. Yeah. So the other thing is that for induction, right, as you know, you can only use this kind of metal pots, right? So in metal pots, there's an induction sign over there, right? That's how then you can use this one. So in my inventory of stoves, right, so all this one can be used except the one that is below. Show you this one, Vision, right? The Vision is glass. So glass, unfortunately, you cannot use it on the induction, right? You have to use it on the gas, which is the one that I use it for soup and all these things lah, right? So this is really the pros and cons, which is why I prefer to have both. Another reason I prefer to have both is that the gas stove actually produce better, tasty, soupy stuff. Yeah. This one can do the job, right? It's the soup stuff can do the job, right? Especially when I cook Maggi noodles, right? When I cook those, you know, the abalone noodles lah, the Maggi noodles, the Nissin noodle, right? I think the gas stove one is a lot more tastier. It's really there's a difference, right? It's really tastier with a gas stove. Yeah, induction just didn't work well. But if you crack an egg into your noodles, right? This one will cook the egg a lot faster. It's harder to control temperature over here. However, this one you roughly know how to actually control the temperature. Yeah. So we also tried searing sticks, right? Searing sticks, right? The gas stove somehow works a lot more better, right? You have better control over the temperature. You can actually see the sear and all these things, right? However, this one very hard to control, and you know it can overcook very quickly. Right, so I would rather prefer to cook more of this heat sensitive stuff using a gas stove rather than the induction, right? Induction is good for, you know, stir frying, all this kind of thing. Your not so complicated one, okay, so this one will work. But for this one, has a lot more control, it's better that way. Right, of course you have this fire, the wok hay taste, right, coming from the fire, which is a lot more better. So I have big woks, big pans to actually do all these things, right? Show you my pans, right? So all these my frying pans lah, which you usually use for the gas stove, right? Another thing to take note is that of course when you have gas stove, right, your pot itself will have that layer of carbon, right? Because the burn, right? However, here, right, your clothes will, your pots will remain clean, right? Clean as in this is quite clean, right? Right. So this is quite clean. But however, if you put it on a gas stove, what happens will be something like this. I show you again. Can you see that black layer of carbon? Yeah. That's because of the heat and the flame, right? If I put it over here, the heat and the flame will actually so-called burn some stuff on the surface. Can be scrubbed off, but you know it takes some effort to scrub off. So once in a while, every 2 to 3 months, I will actually scrub them. Okay? So that is another pros and cons. Yeah. Another thing is that all these things are very easy to clean, but you will see stains here and there, right? These stains are very hard to get rid of. So I use soap, melamine, sponge. I use those 3M sponge and to clean them. To get them sparkling clean, quite difficult, but it can be done. Right, for this one itself, the gas stove, right, you will see all the gold here, right? It's supposed to be very bright, but it's supposed to be like, you know, this kind of bright, right? But as you use, the carbon will actually form over here as well. So every 2 to 3 weeks, I actually have to scrub this one to make it back to gold again. So it can be done. You just need to spend some time to actually scrub them and things like that. Yeah. This not over here because it's a gas stove, right? This is where you adjust. Right. The thing is that it is not so easy to clean. Yeah. Compared to this one, it's just one full panel. Okay. Yeah. Pros and cons. Right. So I have the both of best world actually, which I really like. Okay. Another disadvantage, right? You see this one is so minimalist, very good to use, right? You know, this thing has failed me twice in 1 year, right? The electrical part over here actually got burned or somehow spoiled, and it was replaced under warranty twice already. Maybe it's a SMEG problem, I do not know. But if there's any electrical issue, anything that happen to your power supply or this thing, you cannot use this one, right? You end up have to use cannot cook or a gas stove. So I have contingency plans here as well lah. Right, so if this one spoils, this one goes down, I can use this one, right? If there's somehow something wrong, I can use this one. So that is how we plan to do it lah. Right, so my parents, because they are very traditional, they are quite old already, they actually starting, they thought, you know, this is very hard to use, right? And they still prefer very much in their old house, they want to continue to use the gas stove. Right, so I thought, you know what, I just get both. And apparently, they find this one quite useful as well. So it's easy for them to pick up, easy for them to learn. Yeah, so this is how the setup will be lah. Right, so this is 60, this is, I think it's 30 cm, then here is another 30 cm to split them apart. Yeah, on the top, I have this hood, right, this is Fisher and Paykel. Very well, perform very well. I have no regrets for this one. Looks extremely nice, and you know, it complements this one very well. So this one is 90 cm, right? So it actually covers from here all the way to here, right? So this whole area is being covered. Yeah, okay, so that's all about my stove, right? If you have any further questions, if you want to look at anything, right, anything that you feel that you want to, you know, have a more closer look, happy to share more videos with you, do more videos for you as well. Okay, until next time, I will see you soon.